Hi, everybody. Yeah, thank you. I want to officially welcome everyone to the End of the Sea.
We can't hear you.
I want to officially welcome everyone to the End of the Sea. For those of you who haven't spent every waking moment of your lives worrying about this wedding, that is the nuptials of the century. Yeah, a lot of planning, complaining, squealing, a lot of things have gone into the most perfect day I could even imagine for my baby sister and her wonderful groom. It also took a lot of patience, mostly mine. No, I'm just kidding, mostly Meg's, because I tend to sign up for like a lot of projects and then misspell like a lot of words in each one. One thing that we learned is I enjoy adding, an E or two to words that do not require it. And I just spell everything however I think it should be spelled. So don't look at the names on your glasses too closely. So obviously I've known Meg for quite some time, me and her sister. We shared a bedroom for about 15 years. Not the best 15-year span of our relationship at all. As a kid, Meg was always kind of like a cautious individual, we would say. Meaning that, if the heat kicked on in the middle of the night, she would scream her head off and get into my twin-size bed, which was about 15 inches from her twin-size bed. And the two of us would share that bed, and the mattress was covered in plastic, and as Meg's perfect soulmate only would, he actually admitted recently to having those same type of issues, and that he would have to go stay with his sisters in their room, and they would protect him from monsters and all that. And shout out to the George sisters. One last time last night, doing that for Phil. It's Meg's turn now. It's Meg's turn now. So a few things that we learned about Meg as kids that actually still hold true to today. The number one rule, feed her. No, seriously, feed her very well, Phil. Keep her very well fed, but not with anything that might give her a stomach ache. Right. But if she does want to put chicken wing dip on a bagel, let her. It is not worth losing a finger over. And if she wants to put butter in the pan before cooking bacon, that's totally fine.
Learning a lot.
Yeah, and we're so glad that Phil is such a great cook. But Meg's great at buttering the toast, and we always tell her that. She's great, you know that. Yeah. She's great at it. Number two, do not tell her anything scary, especially before bed. And unfortunately, this still rings true to today. There was no one more grateful for the capture of those escaped convicts than Phil George was. Nobody slept in the George household.
3 weeks!
It was a very long 3 weeks.
Right in our backyard, Phil.
Yeah, right there at all times. And so nobody was able to sleep, and Phil's 6-year-old son Dylan is getting to be old enough to understand what's going on, so he was able to tuck them back into bed. Phil's other son Charlie, who's 3, given the opportunity, he certainly would have invited them into his room to play hockey, guys. And so number 3, let her sleep, at least 13 hours a night. Phil himself, he may only sleep 4.5 minutes a night, but the number one babe requires a great deal of sleep. She can get cranky, and definitely avoid her when there's any scary current events. Certainly last but not least, keep her near her sister.
Yes.
Yes.
Very important.
When Meg and Phil decided to get a house together, and we learned that we could possibly be more than 10-minute commute from each other, it was devastating. It was a heart-wrenching time for our entire family. Mom, you remember, there's tears, lots of them, mostly Phil's. So the 25 minutes will remain the max, and obviously it goes without saying that Randy and I will be attending your honeymoon. But we really did have a great time as kids, and it seems like just yesterday that we were screwing around and singing and dancing and doing crafts, but that was actually 2 days ago. And Phil, even though I haven't known you quite as long as the Meggers, it doesn't exclude you from this little roast. I feel like you have truly become a brother to me. You're literally the nicest person I know. All right, that's a lie, but you're so much fun, and you're so good with my sister. And, you know, it feels like I haven't gotten that many of those crazy calls where, you know, Meg's calling and she's, like, crying really hard. And it's something important, like, you know, I lost my sunglasses, or, like, I saw an online rumor that Little People Big World might be canceled next season, you know, something like that. But really, Dad, you know those calls. You can almost picture the mascara just running down her flawless cheeks. Like, but after spending time with you both, I realized you're the perfect fit, because Phil has a great way of just like calming Meg down or ruthlessly solving the problem. So, for instance, Meg recently got her engagement ring stuck on her right hand for 4 days. And it got to the point, they tried everything from Google suggestions to Don RN suggestions, and she finally was like, okay, the two of you have to just do what it takes to get this ring off my finger. So the two of us held her down and we tore it off her finger while she screamed phrases that Father McCallum would not approve of. She cried, and she even bit. Yes, she bit her teeth into Phil's leg. It eventually came off, the ring, not Phil's leg. And Phil looked at her with her tears and sweat running down her face, and he's like, babe, you did so great. You are so pretty. You're so pretty. He did. We were like, yeah. Yes. That's it. So needless to say, that task required a lot of emotional strength, and actually even more physical strength, because she is quite dense, you wouldn't know it. But she's difficult to lift, and she's difficult to hold down, always has been. Yep. But all joking aside, I'm incredibly grateful to my parents for deciding to have another child, even after I showed up and I basically ruined my dad's chances of avoiding early onset white hair. And I'm so lucky to have my sister as my very best friend. She's a very generous, caring, and extremely outspoken person, but she is the funniest person I know. I can honestly say I don't know where I'd be without her. Probably at a bar or something, but like, yeah.
Mulligans.
She's always there for me, and I'll always be there for her. And Phil, I can speak on behalf of my whole family when I say how glad we are to have you, Charlie, and Dylan in our lives. They're the sweetest and most adorable boys, and we're thrilled to have them in our family. I see the complete love and adoration they have for Meg and that she has for them. And I know this marriage is a perfect fit for all four of you. I also know that you two will continue to make each other very, very happy and grow together as you raise the most beautiful family. So let's all raise our personalized glasses. And cheers to the two best babes I know. I love you guys.
Love you too.
Oh, thank you.
Good speech. Great speech. Hello.
Did somebody record that? That was a great speech, wasn't it?